Hello everyone, Joe here once again. It is Valentine's Day today, which also means, of course, it is the middle of the month, which is Flashfest, and we're going to be getting, presumably, some Valentine's characters, as we usually do. I wonder who this year will be the must-get unit. Because obviously, last year we had Valentine's Aglovale and Valentine Monica, and was that it? Was it 2 or 3 that we got last year? Yeah, it was just Aglovale and Monica we got last year. Aglovale, obviously, the pretty standout unit there. Monica isn't too bad either. She's pretty nice for if you're wanting Ogi spam teams. Obviously, the year before that, Valentine's Grimnir was very, very good as well. And I think the year before that was Valentine Clarice, who was very good for like harder fights. Still is pretty good, not as much as she was, but she's still decent. But yeah, I wonder if we're going to be getting an essential unit again this year. So let's see what we're going to get. Oh, we're getting 3 characters this year. Valentine's Vira, okay, so not content with having a unit, an SSR unit in every element. She is now getting a second fire one. Okay, Valentine's Cassius, nice. In water, I think that's the first Valentine's unit in water. And Valentine's Ladiva, cool. Alright, let's check them out. Alright then, let us look at the weapons first, as usual. Probably nothing... I say probably nothing great, but they have been making decent seasonal weapons for a while now. So, Fire Saber, boosted charge bars on Ogi. Okay. Big attack and Excelsior. I don't remember if Fire Agni has a source of this already. I don't remember. That might be good if you need an Ogi cap in Agni, maybe. Cassius. Water Fist. Bonus water damage effect to MC on Ogi. Cool. Big M&T, small garrison. Okay. And then light melee, tank and counter effect hit to all allies, 1 hit. Big boost to allies, healing cap, and medium boost, medium garrison. Interesting. That's 2 garrison weapons there. Anyway, let's take a look at Vira. So where Ogi is, massive fire damage to foe, and Cage of Light's cool then. Sure, we'll find out what that is. Cage of Light, fire damage to all foes, delay effect, divine jail effect. Charge damage don't fill, can't use special attacks, okay? So basically a petrify for 1 turn. Skill 2, consume Vermilion Bit to activate Vermilion Aegis Merge. While effect boosts to defense and debuff resistance. Excuse me. Substitutes effect receives all ally attacks. Convert damage taken to wind damage. Nullify full normal attacks. For 3 turns. Okay. So she's similar to her grand version. Skill 3, instant CS, standby to caster. Rouge a list effect. Boosts charge bar to 100% on the end of turn while in effect for 2 turns. Okay. So that means that she can use this basically like 3 times in a row? 3 turns in a row, so that's like a bunch of delays. Plus this. Assuming this lands every time. Not bad. Low HP, boost attack and CA specs, deal multi-attacks. That's double attacks, not triples. And caps incoming wind damage at 5,000 per hit. Okay. Vira gains Vermilion Bit at battle start on every 5 turns. Uplift effect while Vermilion Bit is granted. Okay, interesting. So the bit she consumes these to... She consumes 1 of these, I'm guessing? Maybe you can only have 1. I'm guessing... yeah, I'm guessing you can only have 1 of these. It's not a stack, it's just basically just a buff. she seems fine. Like, this is obviously pretty good, obviously. Because if, you know, she all ally sub. Plus, I'm going to assume this is probably pretty decent. Like, if I mind right, her grand version is something like 1000% defense or something crazy like that. Nullify, not full. So that just means she. How does this work? Does this mean if they just don't do damage, or do they just like not able to act if they're not OGing that turn? I don't know. But anyway, this seems pretty good. Although the uptime is, I mean, the uptime is not amazing, but you know it's pretty standard for something like this, for like a busted skill like this. Because that'll be presumably 7 when you level her up. So 3 of 7, not bad. But she seems. This seems kind of possibly nutty if you're needing a bunch of delays, like 3 turns in a row, because you would use this, get a delay, and you'd use this, which would give you 3 Ogis in a row there, which ends this, so then you get, what, 4 of these in a row? 4 turns of delays and petrify in a row? That seems, there could be some situations where that would be pretty busted. Obviously, I don't know, not sure what this is, but capping the damage, and which coupled with this as well, means that she has the potential to be pretty tanky, even if she does have a low HP passive there. Yeah, she seems pretty decent. She doesn't scream out to me as amazingly busted, but she could be pretty decent. I'm trying to think. I don't like how many outside of like Athena. Like Fire doesn't have like a whole load of like really good like defensive characters. I mean, you have. I was gonna say Grand Reinhardzar, but I don't think his sub is an all ally sub. I think it was just a regular sub. So she could be pretty decent if in some fights if you're needing to tank some shit and get a bunch of delays and whatnot off. Yeah, she seems okay. Probably a nice skin as well. Take a look at Cassius. Okay, so his he's massive water damage. Full 1 turn cut to Cassius' skill cooldown, supplemental damage effect. Skill 1, 8 hit water damage to random foes, remove 1 buff from all foes. 2 hit water damage to random foes, restore water allies HP and remove 1 debuff. Lunar Mark effect to caster and cooldown for other skills. So very similar to his dark version so far. Mirage Sign activates upon using charge attack, which is his skill 1. Ooh, nice. Lunar Mark level rises when a water ally uses a skill. Mirage Sign activates when a water ally uses a skill at level 4. Resets the Lunar Mark level, can't be removed. So is that like... uses any... ooh. When a water ally uses this... that's like similar to EOS. EOS S4. Except it's permanent. Alright, okay. Take a look at support skills. When a foe uses a special attack and cooldown for Mirage Sign, remove 1 debuff from Cassius. When an ally removes a foe's buff, activate. Okay, so he is just skill damage, skill damage, skill damage. So like with this, if you use this and it removes a buff, you will activate this as well. Plus you get this, which does this. Gets this, which means that you do this on Ogi, as well as having basically a Grand EO passive. That, assuming I'm not misunderstanding this, is this looks like it's the same as Grand EO's S4, except it's literally permanent. I mean, it's only 8. Obviously, this is only 8 hits compared to the what, like, was it 20 hits or something that EO's S1 can do when you're at full stacks? But the fact that it doesn't go away, you don't have to like really like do as much setup around it. He seems pretty good if you're wanting to do skill damage. If you want to do skill damage stuff in water, he seems like a must-have. Plus, you know, he has the potential for just an absolute shit ton of dispels. Yeah, I mean, that's a relatively simple kit, but pretty effective, especially since Water just got their tempering weapon from Grand Lancelot. He seems pretty good. Pretty simple, but yeah, just skill damage for days. Plus it's Cassius, who is like probably one of the best male characters in the game. Don't at me. Anyway, let's take a look at Ladiva. Massive light damage to a foe. Activate Magnanimous Heart 150%, which is their skill 1. Restore all allies' HP. Remove 1 debuff. Boost the caster's healing specs. Stackable and can't be removed. Huh, interesting. I don't think have we seen stackable healing specs before? I'm not sure we have. Plus it's permanent as well, which is cool. Infinite Love, special buffs to light allies, boost to attack, defense, and multi-attack rate, boost to hype. I wonder if this is normal mod, unique, or perpetuity. You would hope this is either perp mod or unique, because if it's normal mod, this is going to be pretty diluted regardless of whether you're using Magna or Primal. So some height there is nice as well. That's another attack boost. But obviously, the game doesn't tell you exact details on stuff like this, but I hope that this isn't a normal mod and it is something a bit better than that, like I said, perpetuity or a unique mod. Hopefully the latter, but perp is still nice as well. Skill 3, debuff immunity to all allies one time. Charm effect to phone, hit to attack. Okay. Veil is nice, but this is kind of whatever. When an ally is below, ally's HP is below 50% at the end of turn, activate Magnanimous Heart 150%. So okay. Auto healings plus more stackable stuff here. This is also good because this allows for some healing in full auto. Obviously, she won't cast this normally in full auto because it's green border, but she can still do it sometimes in full auto. Activate Infinite Love upon the Chain Burst Ascension. That's 4 chains? That's a 4 chain, I believe. Oh, that's noticed that second part. It takes effect even when Ladiva is a sub-ally. Interesting. It means I hope that this is good even more now, because then you could just shove her in the backline and get a bunch of buffs like this. I think whether she is good or not is going to really depend on what this is, because I think frontline wise, she's not super great. I mean, she has some nice healing. This has, depending on obviously the numbers of this has the potential to be quite a lot of healing. I don't know actual numbers, but the fact that she can do it in full auto when you've got allies below 50%, which is not ideal, you know, especially in light if you've got a bunch of HP, but it could, you know, still be useful for some harder fights that hit a bit harder. But some full auto healing is still nice. But honestly, if these numbers are good, just stick her in the backline, and you've got some nice buffs every time you do. I think this is 4 chains. I'm going to see if the wiki has updated yet. Okay, they are on the wiki, but are they like fully up to date? Oh no, they're not. We don't have numbers. Okay, that's unfortunate. So yeah, not sure what this is, but yeah, I think whether she ends up being really good or just fine or not great, it all comes down to this, because like I said, if these are really nice buffs, just stick her in the backline. Because if you're not needing not needing healing or like something like this, like I said, Veil is fine, but this is not a super great skill, especially from a seasonal. But yeah, this and her 2 has the potential to be really strong. Like I said, depending on these numbers. Like, if these numbers aren't great, then obviously it's probably not worth using a slot for her. But if they are great, then stick her in the backline all the time and get some nice buffs every time you chain burst. So yeah. Jury's still out on this, but yeah, not bad. Not bad this year in terms of Valentine's units. I don't know whether I want to spark or not. Cassius looks really good. I mean, I don't think any of these three characters are quite on the level of Aglovale and Grimnir, and arguably Clarice when she first came out. I think probably at best these characters are like nice to haves, but not like totally essential. But saying that, I would like Valentine's Cassius, because I do like Cassius as a character, and his water version looks pretty good. Just skill damage and dispels all day. But yeah, that's our Valentine's units for this year. So thanks for watching, and until next time, cheerio.